I'm Todd, and I'll be one of your commentators for tonight.
Good evening and welcome to tonight's poker here at the Blomberg Hotel in Birdwood. I'm Sean.
Good evening and welcome to tonight's poker here at the Bloomberg Hotel in Birdwood. I'm Shelby and I look forward to spending this evening here with you.
But firstly, a quick recap of the rules. Each player shall receive 2 cards. Another 5 cards will be put into the middle, called the community cards. Each player will then be able to use all 7 cards, but may only choose 5 of those to make the best hand possible. Each hand shall have a ranking. From the bottom it is high card, 1 pair, 2 pairs, 3 of a kind, a straight, a flush, a full house, 4 of a kind, straight flush, and a royal flush at the top. And let's introduce tonight's players. In first place is Tiffany on 44,000, followed by Don here with 31,000 in chips. Third place is Jason on 27,000. Fourth place, Steve, 20,000. Following him in fifth place is Mark on 16,000. Richard is in 6th. Second tournament played, 11,000 chips. In 7th is Chris with 7,000 chips. And equal with Chris is Shelley with also 7,000 chips.
Hand number 1. Tiffany is our current leader with 44,000 chips.
Phantom is dealing out the first hand of the night. He also tells the player a few housekeeping rules about playing in front of the cameras.
Give it 5 minutes and all the players will have forgotten about the cameras and gone back to their normal playing habits.
Everyone can hear you. All cameras, this can hear you. This can hear the conversation down there.
You're not going to put this in, are you? It's very unprofessional.
Please wait until I point towards you. I've got
Your finger going to be in it?
finger in what? Excuse me? Jesus Christ.
He's got his finger in everything. Come on.
That will be in, by the way.
What is it?
2,000.
Tiffany tries to ask a question, but it doesn't come out the way she wanted it to. She hasn't lost her nerve though, a confident raise there to double the blind.
Raise to 4,000.
I did that.
Oh, okay.
Credit where credit is due.
Yeah,
Thank you. Oh,
we know who to shoot.
we just wanted to tell them I think it was going. Small blind. That's the big blind.
The way the production crew can see the cards is when Phantom shows the cards to the GoPro camera that sits right in front of him. In a practice session, he didn't let any light in and nobody could tell what the cards were. Massive stuff up.
We don't have to be quiet. In fact, the more you talk, the better it is.
Hey, decisions.
Action is on Don. He's short stacked, so he's going to think about his cards.
So that's a fold.
Dan folds, so he will only have 2 live runners this hand.
I have 2 live runners.
A lot of quietness at the table. Very rare at this venue. Normally the gift of speech is overused while the gift of conversation is underused.
Tiffany's gone in for 4,000 chips and is being called by the big blind.
The big blind calling should always make you nervous. If they weren't raised pre-flop, then they literally could have any 2 cards.
Tiffany's now checking. She knows that Steve could have anything, so she is trying to work out what he has by his betting patterns.
If Steve keeps checking, then Tiffany would know that he is chasing. Snap call by Tiffany. She has worked out quickly that Steve tried to buy the pot. Was it the way he said it? Maybe. Maybe it was the way he counted his chips. We will never know.
First hand of the night has been completed with Tiffany taking it down. She started as chip leader, and now she has gone further ahead.
Hand number 2. Tiffany has nearly doubled her chip count and sits on 72,000 chips.
There will be chip swings all night, so let's see how she goes, but it's definitely a good start.
Hand number 2, and some players have not warmed up to the cameras yet. They continue to fold to get used to the bright lights.
Really, this is the time to get aggressive. When people are nervous, they tend to fold, so bet hard and give them the opportunity to fold.
And Steve is our first all-in of the night.
Now, Steve is not nervous in front of the cameras. Why? because he's played in front of them before and he's got over any nerves he had. From the experience of the last couple of weeks, every player has had nerves in front of the cameras. Some get over it quicker than others.
When you go all in, you really want to see only one other caller, and preferable a short stack at that. So when Shelley called, he would have been happy, but when Don called, it could have made him nervous.
And now Derek has arrived with a drink for the publican from his lovely wife.
It probably says how much she loves him. Steve has turned over his pair of jacks. Shelley shows her 7 and 8 of hearts, while Don turns over a 2 and a 4 of spades.
Steve has the advantage, but Shelley has a lot of options. A flush, a straight, or maybe even a straight flush. Don, I'm not even going to guess what he was thinking.
Jacks have got it. Jacks have got that. Jacks have got that.
Pair of jacks, hold up. A few of those cards would have made him nervous, but they held. And Shelley is the first person knocked out tonight.
Hand number 4. Tiffany leads with 72,000 chips.
Richard 2000 to play. Raise to 4. Richard raises to 4. Don 2000 to play.
Don has a pair of kings and now has to think of how much to raise.
He's decided to call. Don doesn't raise pre-flop, which is a kink in his game.
Don, you start me off. All in for 5,000. Tiff snap call. Richard.
Don is all in now. The flop is down and there is no ace, so Don assumes he's in front.
Tiffany's snap call made his face drop. He wasn't expecting that.
You're invested.
Invested.
I do investment banking, don't I? This is smart. I'll have it. Not enough of it.
Okay, that is all in. So, Don, Tiffany's looking at you, so can you please roll your cards? Pair of kings. Tiffany.
I need a heart. Because I don't have one.
The doctor's taking it out.
Come on, girl. Thanks.
You'll get one. Sure she will.
Hey. Nah.
I thought that was a great folder.
It was. It was. Don, all yours.
Don's kings hold up for the win as Tiffany doesn't get her heart. I don't think it would worry her too much, though she is still our chip leader.
Hand number 5. Tiffany has lost chips, but still leads with 46,000 chips.
Small blind folds.
4 players are going in on this hand as there is no pre-flop raise. Even Jason with his pair of 10s has decided not to raise.
By not raising pre-flop, you're letting too many players have a cheap look at the pot. That waters your odds down.
Check. 6,000 to play.
Several checks before Jason bets 6,000.
When you check, you should really wait a second. Saying check as quickly as you can is a clear sign that you have nothing.
So even though Richard checked very quickly, he still calls Jason, putting himself all in.
Pairs, ace and fours, king, queen, hoping to hit.
Richard is hoping one of his cards hits while Jason watches on. Unfortunately for Richard, neither card hits, so he is out and we are down to the last 6.
Hand number 6. Tiffany still leads with 46,000 chips.
Hand 6 has started with Tiffany still holding her lead.
What we need to watch is how Tiffany plays her large stack. Will she be a chip bully? Will she wait it out? She may choose to play her normal game. There is no right or wrong way to play it from here.
Yes, Chris 2000 to play. Jason 2000. Yeah. Cool. 2000 to play. Any harder? No.
Tiffany is playing like she normally does, just calling the blinds if she likes her hand.
There we go. A pair of tens. There's your hearts.
That's my king.
4,000 to play. 4,000. Jason, cool.
The action is slow in this hand, but Steve has decided to take action and bets 4,000, which Jason quickly calls.
Normally, each player is quick to make their plays, and the Phantom has to slow them down. But this hand is slow with the players considering their next move. Nobody shows confidence in their own hands.
Steve, you start me off.
Red ones, yeah, black ones. But even better. Oh, they're better queen.
All in for 26,000.
It's eating like this one.
Steve makes his move, all in with a full house.
Usually you would only bet a small amount in order to build the pot. He must believe that Jason will call it.
Just go, hello.
Hello? Am I allowed to go under the table? Will I look bad?
Depends what you say.
The general thing is, hello, how are you?
Hello.
It's me.
Hello. We're on national TV. Don't say something really stupid.
Not on national.
No, we don't. We only see it.
Bit of humour there with the phone ringing. That sort of thing can break the tension and allow players to calm down.
Jason is still thinking on whether or not to call. He's got the chips and trip 10, so it's a hard choice to make.
Hasn't called yet.
Jason is still thinking. Steve has bet before and he has bet again, so Jason has to work out what he has. A straight, a king. The odds are pretty low that Steve has the fourth 10. Jason makes the question about a possible flush.
Now, he doesn't expect Steve to give him an answer. He's looking at Steve's body language in the hope that he will give it away.
He's done. He's good. He's still in.
Now it's Don's turn to think. He's got a straight to the king, but knows that two players have bet big before him.
Don has folded.
Don folds his straight. A good hand, but he obviously thought he was beat.
Steve, roll yours. Jason has called you. Tens and queens. Ace and
wow.
10. Oh, he's got it.
Oh, the worst hand in the world. Well, very lucky.
Oh,
Hard Steve.
as well.
I'm still backing Jason to win.
Hand number 10. Tiffany is still our leader with 40,000 chips.
You're 4,000.
Yeah, so I've got a dead small.
We are now down to 4 players. In hand number 7, Don went all in with 6 and 7 of hearts against Steve with the king of diamonds and queen of spades. Steve won when a king landed on the river to have a pair, so Don was eliminated.
The next hand saw Jason go all in with the queen and 9 of diamonds against Chris's pair of 5s. Jason was happy when a 9 appeared in the flop, but that was short-lived as the turn was a 5, giving Chris 3 of a kind, and Jason leaving.
Win, I have 2 live runners, so. Tiffany.
10.
There's one live
That's
runner.
how much.
Too bad with a cold.
You're not going to fold a full house, are you?
Tiffany folds as we have 2 players left.
Steve, say those two back. Steve, roll yours.
Okay.
Three.
What's it?
We have a king.
Ooh, a king does it.
Mark rolls a pair of kings while Steve rolls his cards. Only an ace can save Steve now.
More ass than an elephant.
Oh, God.
Absolutely a full.
Yeah, go get a beer. Go get a beer.
Yeah, go home.
Oh,
You don't.
Mark, you are fourth. Don't run away.
Regardless whatever comes up, just keep playing. Regardless what comes up.
I got knocked out by a good hand.
Yeah.
Hand number 11. Tiffany leads with 40,000 chips.
Steve, 4,000 play.
Oh, easy. Rolling it. Ah.
I wouldn't play the same.
Any harder?
Here we go. Here it comes.
Everyone's still playing conservatively.
I don't know.
1K, 2K.
Tiffany, you start me off.
Which is trip 5?
How much?
Oh, about 12.
About 18.
Oh.
Oh, 19,000. That's 5,000. You need another
Just
14,000.
third pay.
Yes, $70.
Fold.
That's not worth my time.
Tiffany has made a decision to fold in order to not lose any more chips.
When you're in the prize money, decisions like this get made. It's not about winning a hand, it's about trying to win the whole tournament.
Tune in.
Hand number 15. Tiffany is our current leader with 48,000 chips.
Folds.
3 players left, all of who have nice chip stacks, so they don't have to do anything silly at this time.
Come on, don't be quiet.
12,000. Double big line. Snap call.
Now we're getting excited.
Yeah, that's correct.
Chris doubles the blind pre-flop. Very rare event tonight.
Tiffany snap calls, which means she likes her hand. The fastest call for an all-in that I have ever seen.
All 14,000. Snap, alright, 14,000. Chris, what do you have?
Death wish.
Yes, King 8. King 8.
Okay.
Jack 9. Oh, she's hit with the 9.
Anything can happen.
I'm in trouble. Yeah. You're in trouble.
Jack 2 pair.
Chris was trying to buy the pot, but Tiffany was having none of that. She's hit the 9 and then the turn gave her 2 pairs. Chris cannot get his king, so he's out of the tournament.
Hand number 24. Tiffany has extended her lead and has now 90,000 chips.
We're still on the final 2 players. 9 hands have passed since we lost Chris, and not many chips have passed between the players since then.
Blinds have gone up in that time to 5,000, 10,000. At some stage, you have to make a move or the blinds will make it for you.
That spring bet.
Oh, well, I was just technical.
Is it 40?
It's 40, yeah. It's either in or out.
Is it called?
Likely.
Yeah. The game has got to finish sometime.
Hang on, don't roll yet.
It's true.
Tiffany. Check.
Czech Republic.
Tiffany.
Both players are checking after Steve made that pre-flop raise.
Both players have an ace, but the board is not doing either of them a favour.
settled.
Oh, that's right. I still earned something. didn't
Where's
I?
security? We got halves.
So we got our money back.
So, yeah.
Oh.
So who was big one? Who was what one?
Hand number 26, and Tiffany leads with 90,000 chips. Steve is her only competitor, and he has 65,000 chips.
While both players may seem to have average hands, it is good enough when you get to the final two players.
Most hands are playable at this time.
Steve tries to buy the pot, but Tiffany's snap calls him.
But will Steve try again?
Tiff, you were going to start me off. Congratulations.
Tiffany bets with 15,000.
She's trying to show Steve that she has a 9, but will Steve swallow the bait?
This is it.
Tiffany,
All in for, is that 25?
that's correct.
25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50.
50,000.
Well, Tiffany has now hit the board with her 7. She's not convinced Steve has anything, so she has gone all in.
Oh. Right, Steve. Killer blood. Steve folds. Killer blood. What did you have?
Tune in next week. Shoot, yeah, tune.
Hand number 27, Steve has 40,000 in chips, while Tiffany has the other 115,000.
Snap. Cool. This is the moment.
Two fat ladies.
Oh.
But 2 overs. So, when people say that, they know not. So, would you not?
Here's the unload, anything but.
Oh, he's missed it on the first one. He's missing it on the second.
What is that? What is that? Oh, come
Oh,
on.
nearly did it straight.
No, Ace, no, Ace, no, Ace, no, Ace.
Or a 9, a 9 stuff like. Oh.
Sorry.
What are you being sorry about?
She's not sorry.
Yeah. Lines are up. Oh.
Yay!
Well done, good game.
Post match interview.
Oh, we have to finish it sometime.
Let's just make up a backstory. Let's just say I started from the bottom, now we're here.
Okay. Tiffany was raised by monks.
I don't know. Next. Do you have to do this?
No. What? You didn't think Steve was going to open a can of whoopee or something?
No.
Did you see how many chips he had?
Yeah, no. Wasn't nervous.
What? You just thought you were going to reel him in?
Yeah, I had it.
Do you ever play the players or do you just play the cards?
Oh, you obviously know how people play and get to learn how they play, but yeah.